Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers and subscribers, at the channel we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. That is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives on this channel. We at this channel aid criminals, their financiers, their supporters, enablers, and the likes with a passion, and we do not want them over here. Yes, let us repeat ourselves. We do not want any criminal supporters over here. Please, we do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you, the criminal supporters, enablers, financiers, and all the likes, to go to prison or madness. Let me repeat myself. We at the Jamaica Young Police channel, we do not want the criminal supporters and their circle over here. We want you to go to prison or madden. Moving on to our video. Yes, we know that you, our loyal viewers and subscribers, are eager to get the video of your favorite politician who gave the order to Tesha Miller, who was the leader of the Klansman gang and still leader of the Klansman gang, to kill Douglas Chambers. Yes, Douglas Chambers was the chairman of the JUTC in June 2008 because of irregularity at the JUTC bus depot in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. But due to one and two little things, we are going to delay the video until tomorrow afternoon, which is Monday. Yes, tomorrow afternoon we'll get the video, as this one is of importance to show you how police officers work at protective services, witness criminal activities by politicians issuing guns and reported the same to their superiors. It can lead to the same police officer losing his life as what had happened to Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson. Let me repeat myself. Being a police officer working at protective services, and if you witness criminal activities by politicians issuing guns and reported the same to your superior, it can lead to you, the police officer, losing your life as what had happened to Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson. Who killed Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson? Why there is no arrest for the killing of Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson after 10 years? On Monday, April 8, 2013 at about 8 p.m., Detective Sergeant Simpson, a police officer assigned as the bodyguard to Minister of State Julian Robinson, was shot and killed by gunmen. The detective sergeant, a protective service division member, was gunned down late Monday night outside his gate in Harborview, St. Andrew. That is just chains away from the Harborview police station. And that was like minutes after he was let off by his colleagues. So here are cases of good detectives losing their lives because they report criminality by politicians to their superiors. And we're just using example of police officer in the United States of America. Yeah. The case of Frank Serpico. So you can type in that name and you will find a lot of things about that man. He was killed. Frank Serpico was a New York police officer known for his courage and integrity in exposing corruption within the NYPD. In 1967, Serpico reported to his supervisor that he had witnessed several police officers taking bribes from drug dealers. His superiors ignored his report and Serpico eventually went public with his allegation. Serpico whistleblowing led to a major scandal within the NYPD, and several officers were eventually convicted of corruption. However, Serpico's own life was put in danger. He was shot and nearly killed in 1971 and forced to leave the NYPD. Serpico's story is a reminder of the danger that whistleblowers face. However, it is also a story of courage and integrity. Serpico's willingness to speak out against corruption helped make the NYPD more honest and ethical. So we're going to give you some cases in America of good detectives who have lost their lives or reporting criminality by politicians. So everywhere you go, you have corruption in it, but it's only going to take a person with courage and integrity to do the same. But yes, we at the Jamaica Young Police Center, we are happy that we are still here. And we did not choose to report what we have seen to anyone who are in the police hierarchy. Because we at the Jamaica Young Police Center, we have witnessed murder and robbery. And that's how we become public enemy number one to all of these police officers who were present and their acolytes and their constituents. And I was the one that was being shot. Yes, the reason why I am not a popular police officer, all because I say I don't like thieving police officers. And because I had witnessed a murder and a robbery and of drugs and money, and I did not want to partake of any. Yes, I was labeled as a traitor and as an informer, and based on that, my life, I was marked for death. But I am still here, so that's why I tell you I don't live in fear. I was even read the riot attack by one of the criminal police officer, and he went on to retire as an assistant commissioner of police. Yes, I don't have to call his name because he know himself. Yes, just to drag his memory, when he took me on the street to read the riot attack and tell me who's gonna believe me. When we were going up Walton Park Road and telling me about Tilford Johnson, protecting him, and how Tilford Johnson dismantled the Special Anti-Crime Task Force because they were investigating him for corruption. So it goes to show you that the same culture that exists in other jurisdictions is the same thing that happened in Jamaica. So when you are a police officer and you witness criminality, when I say criminality, I am talking about robbery and murder. I'm not talking, and when I say murder, I'm talking you committing robbery and murder at the same time. That is crime. When you come on to preemptive strike, I have no problem with that because you're defending yourself. That's how it works, you understand. So, yeah, so here, we're going to give you examples of some good detectives who lost their life in reporting criminalities by politicians. Detective Joseph Pestrosino. Joseph Pestrosino was a New York City police detective killed in 1909 whilst investigating the mafia in Italy. Pestrosino was one of the first American law enforcement officials to target the mafia, and his death sent a clear message to other investigators. Those who dare to challenge the mafia would be killed. But you can't beat the government, That's why we say, it's just take courage. Because the mafia still exists, but not at the level where they used to operate. John Gotti and all those people, them gone. Detective Michael Dodd. Michael Dodd was a Chicago police detective killed in 1983 while investigating corruption within the Chicago Police Department. Dodd was one of several detectives working on a sting operation to catch corrupt officers, and his death was a clear warning to the other detectives involved in the operation. Detective Adrian Dinkins. Adrian Dinkins was a New York City police detective killed in 1999 while investigating corruption within the New York City Housing Authority. Dinkins was one of several detectives working on a sting operation to catch corrupt housing authority officials, and his death was a clear warning to the other detectives involved in the operation. These are just a few examples of good detectives who have lost their lives for reporting criminality by politicians. Their stories are a reminder of whistleblowers' danger, but they also serve as a testament to their colleagues' courage and integrity. These detectives were willing to risk their lives to fight corruption and to sacrifice, and their sacrifice would never be forgotten. So you have to understand, the reason why these detectives were killed. It was seeing police officers who are investigating or a part of the investigation that lead the information and put the witnesses' life in danger. So everywhere you go, you have corrupt people. So you understand. So it was like the same thing. I like in my case. I just don't say anything to nobody. I didn't say anything to anybody. You understand what I'm saying? I just stay by myself and just watch my nine and never trust anybody. You understand? I had a license on and my criminals enemies who were, big officer in the police force. One of them a detective inspector. They did not know that I have a license gun. So you understand? So when they found out, that I had a license, because they disarmed me. So that was one of their way, because they wanted to kill me. Because they wanted to silence me. But, they read the riot act to me and I read back my riot act to them. Because they know the kind of person I am. As I will tell you, I told Cowboy then, when we were driving along Walton Park Road and he tell me what he wanted to say, I reminded him, I tell him, I had told him then, that remember, if you guys try, I'm missing. Just remember when I am coming, that I'm going to clean house. You understand? Everyone in here, I'm going to clean house. You understand? You and all the others. So, just prepare for that. They never try, you understand? Because they never try. So that's why I'm still here. So it is undoubtedly a cause for wonder and pondering when a police officer is killed at their home. There are many possible reasons why this might happen, but some of the most common include retaliation for police work. In some cases, police officers are killed by criminals seeking revenge for their arrest or prosecution and the killings of their crony or cronies. This is especially common in cases where the officer has been involved in high-profile cases or has made several arrests. Sometimes domestic violence police officers are also at increased risk of domestic violence. In some cases, this violence can escalate to murder, as what you see what happened with the policeman in Manchester the other day. His wife killed him and used even a hammer after she killed him to beat it. But I'm telling you, I don't know. And, but that policeman, he was too nice to her because, number one, I'm the kind of person, once I see certain signs and them things, you have to understand the words that a woman emit out of your mouth and all of those things, that is sign and no. So you just start plan your escape. And I don't know, but he's no longer here. So sometimes mental illnesses, you understand? In other cases, police officers are killed by people who are mentally ill and have a history of violence, like criminals who have no regard for people's lives and only theirs, because there are several human rights groups whose jobs and mandates is to destroy Jamaica and the fabric of the society and continue the criminality among the good people. Sometimes it's because of random acts of violence. Unfortunately, there are also cases where police officers are killed in random acts of violence because a gunman wants to prove to members of their gang that they are not afraid of killing police officers. Babylons are pigs. No matter the reason, the death of a police officer at their home is a tragedy. Police officers are dedicated public servants who put their lives on the line to protect our communities. Their deaths are a reminder of the danger that police officers face and the importance of supporting them. Reports are that the policeman, Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson, had just arrived home and was let out of the police service vehicle by his colleagues. When a white Nissan X-Trail SUV drove up, the occupants reportedly opened fire on the cop, hitting him several times all over his body. He was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he died while undergoing surgery. Minister of State Julian Robinson expressed shocked at the brutal slaying of the cop who had served as his bodyguard for over 1 year. He was with me probably about an hour before the incident. I had just left the office after I had a meeting. I was shocked when my phone rang and his wife called to say he was shot. I rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital. Unfortunately, the doctors couldn't save him. He was one of my most professional policemen, just a decent, honest, hard-working individual, he said. That is what the politician saying. So Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson was previously assigned to other government officials, including Dr. Omar Davey and former Health Minister John Jr. Dr. Omar Davey constituency is the community where I was born, the belly of the beast, Jonestown, Kingston 12. And what did Detective Sergeant Simpson witness? Why they transfer him from Dr. Omar Davies? The police officers who were present will not talk because they were not police officers but PMP police officers. So attack on present and past members of the force in the meantime, because it was shortly after that them killed before then them killed Denzel Boy, that is woman. Denzel Boy, that one of the most bravest police, but because he was coming from church and in that somber mood, that's why they get to kill him. Number one, when I was a police officer, no guy could not come on my gate and ask me about this or that. I am not no tour guide, so you go with that. You can't come. You understand? Number one, no guy can come on my gate and come with them foolishness and them thing. I never play them game there. You understand? The last guy will come on my gate and them thing there one Sunday, you know, that is just history. I don't play games and them thing there. A guy knows say, hey, you see that yard there, you don't play with that yard there and them thing there. You understand? Because my yard not even have gate. You understand? As somebody, you understand? So attack on present and past member of the force. In the meantime, Owen Ellington, Commissioner of Police, had expressed concern that attacks on present and past member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force are becoming frequent. In a statement following the slaying of Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson, the Commissioner of Police observed that attacks by armed criminals against police are occurring at their homes, signaling a trend that all members of the force must acknowledge. And police must always be on the alert, man. Whether you're there home or not, you understand? I never play. You understand what I'm saying? You know, trust no shadow. You understand? So Ellington urged investigators, you know, to apprehend those responsible for the murder of Detective Sergeant Simpson quickly and warned members of the JCF to be extremely alert. Those who carry out this brutal and cowardly murder on our colleague must know that they have drawn the attention of a bold, courageous and determined body of brave people who will leave no stones unturned and find and bring them to justice. Ellington urged investigators to pursue the matter with determination and focused attention. He also reminded police personnel to heighten their alertness for criminals who will strike at any time. Be assured of the full backing of the police High Command and from me whenever you act swiftly and precisely in thwarting any violent attack upon your person, whether on or off duty. We have seen enough of these violent criminals attack on our own to understand that the evil forces of the cure war on us, he added. National Security Minister Peter Bunting also condemned the killing. It is tragic when the life of any citizen is snuffed out at the hands of criminals. For a policeman who had served the country selflessly for over 20 years to be brutally murdered at his home and in the presence of his family, especially heart-rending, said Bunting. The minister also noted that Sergeant Simpson had served parliamentarians and government officials, including former Health Minister John Jr., Transport and Work Minister Omar Davey, and most recently State Minister Julian Robinson. In his 20 years of service to the force, Sergeant Simpson have demonstrated commitment and high professionalism. His service and duty to the country must be rewarded with our vow never to allow criminals to find haven amongst us. Bunting said, that is just laughable. Police officers who are transferred to protective service in Jamaica to bodyguard politicians, you must be vigilant. These police officers are essentially political activists in uniform and may be at risk if they do anything against what the politicians are doing, especially if it is illegal. The case of Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson is a sobering reminder of the dangers that these officers face. Detective Sergeant Simpson murder in 2013 after he reported that a particular PMP politician was issuing guns illegally to criminals, and he reported the same to his superior officer at protective service. That is what causes Detective Sergeant Simpson to lose his life. Detective Sergeant Simpson had witnessed the PMP politician issuing guns and he reported it to his superior, and his death is a tragedy and a reminder that police officers who speak out against corruption can be targeted. I urge all police officers transferred to protective service in Jamaica to know the risk involved. If you see something wrong, try not to be bold and speak up. You have to protect the public, but do not go against the wishes of the politician you are assigned to protect. If you do, you can lose your life. If you are concerned about your safety, you should talk to your superior or a trusted colleague. You cannot do that, because if you do, you're going to lose your life. As Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson. It is important to remember that you are not alone. Some people care about your safety and will help you if you need. Do not be afraid to speak up, and do not let the fear of retaliation silence you. Look, police officer, if you do anything that goes against what the politicians are doing, especially illegally, when you see them issuing guns, you report it to your supervisor, your superiors, you may lose your life, like Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson. Police officers who report illegal activities of politicians, especially if they are going against the wishes of their superior, because most of these police officers that work at protective service, whether them are labor right or them are PMP, them don't see themselves as police, them see themselves as PMP or GLP, them don't see themselves as police officer. That's how them see it. So when you go report it to your superior, you have get bodyguard a PMP minister of state, and him out there issue illegal gun and use it, and you vex and you go report it. Yeah, and then you go report it now to your superior fee, say boy, something like going to be done about it, and yeah, even say boy, you know, ask you a transfer, but because the people then that you are working with, your colleagues, you trust them so much that you think that you have them, and you express express that you're not satisfied of what you have seen. You know, let them know your dissatisfaction about politicians that issue guns to illegal guns to criminals. And the men them around, you know, you think that they will be looking out for you, when they are the same ones now who receive orders, say, you know, I take out that boy there, because that boy they chat too much. I saw Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson lose him life. I don't know, gunman kill him, I see him police. But we are continuing the journey, you understand? And a gunman kill Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson, you understand? So many things can be done to protect police officers who report illegal activities. But here are some fantasies, suggestions for the police force and its hierarchy in Jamaica. Because all of this are fantasy, because this won't work. This is Jamaica, the criminal's paradise. First, it is essential to have strong whistleblower protections in place. That's not going to happen. These protections should ensure that police officers who report illegal activities will be protected from retaliation. Ask Constable Teagle Brown, who had given evidence in the killing of the 4 people in Cral, Carolina. Them dismiss him out of police force, because after a case, DCP Clifford Blake, who is a PMP LGBTQ plus police activist, and Renita Adams is a PMP police, and Danai Williams was apartheid. We'll soon tell you about Danai Williams later on, and how Renita Adams loses him visa and the other men. You understand? And yeah, Teagle Brown, after the case, said, tell Brown to come back to Jamaica so them can't kill him, and him said no. You know, instead of the police force keep the man on the payroll and thing, they dismiss him out of the police force. So that's how it goes. So by Brown giving a statement and give evidence in the case, not that the policeman go there and tell a lie, you know. He was marked for death, so he have to leave the police force and Jamaica for good. So that's how it goes. You understand? So we'll continue the journey. So all of these things about protection from retaliation, all of them things, there's just fantasy that we are just telling the police force in Jamaica. This won't happen. Second, it is essential to have independent bodies that can investigate allegations of police corruption. These bodies should be able to investigate allegations without fear of interference from politicians or the police. A nice job with that. That won't happen in Jamaica. Jamaica is a criminal's paradise. Finally, it is essential to create a culture of openness and transparency within the police force. Nice going with that. That's why we tell us all of these things are fantasy. Remember now, as Jamaicans, and I am a Jamaican, born and bred, no matter where I am living in the world, I'll always be a Jamaican. Jamaicans as a whole, we as a people from 1972 have been cultured to be criminal minded, criminal supporters, criminal enablers, and criminal sympathizers. We as a people have been conditioned to support criminality in Jamaica, and the victims of crimes are suckers. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. That's how it is in Jamaica. So, tell me what else. So all of these things we are telling you are fantasy. In Jamaica, the people who commit the crimes, they are the victims. Because we have been cultured to be a criminal's paradise. And we are reaping that right now. Since 1972. And then we were getting a little we get a lull from October 1980 until February 1989. From that, the door open and just criminal run in and out. Them can't close it back. Because them don't know how to close it back because the people have been conditioned to be criminals. And the reason, and let me tell you, because look, we have eight men who escaped from Black River police station. Not one to date have been arrested and placed back in custody. Not one. 8 dangerous criminal. So you don't want, if there's more evidence that you want that Jamaica is a criminal's paradise, well, too bad for you. So you cannot think for yourself. And if you cannot think for yourself, others will think for you. Remember that. Yes. So if we want to create a police force free from corruption, we need to take steps to protect police officers who report illegal activities. We need to have strong whistleblower protections in place. We need to have independent bodies that can investigate culture of openness and transparency within the police force. The only kind of investigators you can have in a police force is like you have to bring some white people from America or England. Then just have a, because Mocha is a political arm of the police force. Yeah, when Mocha them target people from the other side, that's how them do it. PMP do it, Labour Right do it. So that them use Mocha for target them enemies. You understand? I talk about a police force, we have exclusive authority, then have a report to none of squaddy. You understand? Some white men, and you have a few unpicked ex-police officer who will not be able to coerce these police officers and tell them, say, hey, say, boy, say the police, they are troublemaker and them a liar and them a this and that, for protect them criminal friends. Yes, as why a certain gazette officer had told one of the I official from England about one of them friend. And Licky did that police officer know that, hey, look, say a criminal supporter advised me. Yeah, so I just saw it go. So you want people who are independent to come, and ex-police officer who live overseas, who have served in Apple, to be advisor to them and them thing there, you understand? And do them without fear or affection. So we'll continue the journey. So, so it means that going against the wishes of politicians, can be devastating and it can cost you your life. Some people will help you if you need it. Do not be afraid to speak up and do not let the fear of retaliation silence you. You understand? So the policeman held for the shooting death of woman Corporal Judith Williams, that has been charged with murder. On Tuesday this week, the court ruled that the suspect be charged or released from custody. The cop, Constable Gladstone Williams, was held with a civilian shortly after the April 28 killing of a woman police. Corporal Williams was shot multiple times at about 6 a.m. in East Kingston at a bus stop on way to work. The suspect cop has also been implicated in the killing of a second Jamaica Conservative Force member. Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson, assigned to protective service, was shot dead while standing at his gate in Harbourview, St. Andrew on April 8, 2013 by men traveling a white Nissan vehicle. Hey, look, you see the policeman, Gladstone Williams, them just stirring him in a skateboard. They don't charge him, still though they haven't arrested and charged him for any crimes, But they turn him into the skateboard, say, him and the boy, and them think they were gay. Make him say him involved in a Courtney Simpson killing in which he had nothing to do with it. It is the same police that brought home, the same police that work with Detective Sergeant Simpson. Based on information received and obtained, they are the same one that killed him. So the detective sergeant is the men that were bodyguarding the minister. And them same one killed the police. Police killed this policeman, you know. And then now, through this a policeman in my rogue police, they say, well, yeah, we all look upon him too and everything there. And that's it, in their case. The reason why Detective Sergeant Courtney Simpson was killed is because him witnessed the politician issue gun and him get vexed, tell him colleagues them, and him tell him superior. Them say, the boy that chat too much, you know, take him out. And I just saw it go. You have to understand when you got protective services, you have to see I'm blind ear and deaf. You're just a political thug. So if you're a PMP, you're supposed to be a PMP police. You're not supposed to be a police. You're supposed to be a thug just like Police Barry and Police Big Youth. And if needs be, you just jump in a police vehicle, you have some criminal, go kill people in a labor right community as what them used to do. That's what them used to do, you know, jump in a vehicle, them police vehicle, them man stalk you a gunman and then go down a rim and shoot up people and kill them, drive-by shooting. I don't think people can say a police, but they can't identify who. Because them take off a police license plate and all them things there. And you just have the mark police on it. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica, Young Police Channel, out.